Hello, everybody. I'm John Locke, and I'd like to welcome you to the LockeInYourSuccess.com Trading Performance Podcast, where it's all about real traders, real problems, and real coaching. Listen up and enjoy the segment. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the questions that I asked some of the traders, and I'll give you a brief background about myself. I mean, you know that I'm the head trainer at Lock in Your Success, but you may not know, if you haven't known me for a while, before I started trading, I had a variety of businesses. I was not in the financial realm of the world at all. I had no financial experience regarding stocks or trading or anything like that, other than owning some variety of small businesses on my own. I had an auto repair business. I had a martial arts school. I did full contact fighting. I had a home inspection company, and I invested in real estate. I still invest in real estate, and I had a success coaching company before I started trading. And I kind of learned about trading in 2005, 2006 timeframe, and I started coaching traders shortly thereafter, more on trading performance probably than actual trading strategies, because I hadn't been trading very long, but I was very successful at doing that. And when I started getting really good at trading strategies and figuring out how this whole income trading thing worked, I started training traders and coaching traders on trading systems and trading strategies along with trading performance. And that's, where we've come from. And that's, that being the case, right? We started getting more and more traders in Lock in Your Success. Again, Lock in Your Success was initially a success coaching company. We started getting more traders, and now, of course, we do here, and everybody knows what's going on. So, as far as what I trade, I primarily trade subjectively, and I trade primarily our high probability positive theta strategies on the indexes, the strategies that you see on the rules-based strategies. But what I do is I take concepts and the different trading strategies, and I apply them at times when it's beneficial to trade them, and I avoid them at times when it's detrimental to trade them. So, it's not like this non-subjective thing. And this is the way that we hope traders will eventually trade, right? So trading by the guidelines completely non-subjectively is kind of like driving blindfold. I mean, you might know where the road is, and you might be able to make the turns and so forth with a blindfold on, but you don't really know what's in front of you. You have no understanding of the situation. When you start to bring in the understanding of the situation and you add it to what you understand about the weaknesses and strengths of particular trading strategies, that's when things can really come together and you can really start making money in trading. Okay, so but that is the way that that I trade. I'll also take directional trades of varying time frames when the high probability chart setups occur. So I like to do that. So I do those types of trading. Another question we have: what would you consider your biggest win this year? And some of you may remember this if you've been with me for a little while. Back in I think it was either the Trader Party of 2019 or sometime in January in one of our meetings in 2020, I put up this impossible goal challenge that we were going to try to make 1,000% return on our trade for trade planned capital deployment. And I think we made that, like I said, back in January 2020. Well, we're starting to set that up and get that going, and then COVID happened. And we had more important things to deal with, right? So as the market's crashing, implied volatility is changing. We had the option view software stop working for us. We ended up having all these other challenges. So we kind of had to put that lofty goal on hold. And manage with what we had, and that happens when you have a goal, right? So we have these trading goals, and all these timelines that we'd like to make happen, but the reality is things happen, and sometimes we get sidetracked a little bit. But the funny thing is I never really revisited that goal in my head. I just kind of let that go off to the side. And we just kind of kept trading in 2020. And yes, we did very well in 2020, but no ways near 1,000%. We did pretty well in in 2021. I think in the pro membership example trades, our planned capital, our return on planned capital trade for trade was like 450% or something like that, which was pretty darn good. It's like halfway there. And then I was looking at my numbers for this year for 2022, and the return on our pro example trades on planned capital trade for trade, right? It was 873%. So that was fantastic, right? That's very close. It's getting very close to our impossible goal of 1,000%. So we'll see how we do next year coming up in 2023. But I thought that was pretty exciting. And it was probably the best year we've had in our pro sample trades. So pretty excited about that. And again, this is a year when a lot of our regular guideline strategies had problems because, quite frankly, none of you have experienced this market trading these types of strategies before. We have only had data back to maybe 2005, 2006, and that was with if you're using the OptionView software. If you're using OptionNet Explorer, you only have intraday data back to 2011. During that whole time frame, even if you go back to the 2005, 2006 era, we've had nothing but an uptrending market. We've never had a year where the market's really downtrended, certainly not 2 years, a significant amount. We've had our crashes, we've had our pullbacks, but overall, the market's always been uptrending. It's always been uptrending. So now, in 2020, we get this big expansion range in our asset prices. Our range of asset prices during the day. We get this big expansion in implied volatility, something we've never seen before, but still uptrending markets. I mean, 2020 had a hell of a crash, but still it was an uptrending market. I think we closed the year positive, right? So that's very different than today. Today, we have that larger implied volatility, plus we have a different implied volatility skew curve, plus we have a downtrending market. Those three things all together in unison give us an environment that we've never seen before as income traders. Now, if you understand trading strategies and you understand the market, you can do extremely well, as we've shown in the pro membership. But if you're somebody who's just traded by the rules, not subjectively, you really don't understand. You haven't developed or learned the understandings that you need to be able to adapt to this type of environment and to continue trading. So you want to make sure that you strive towards that. So even if you're trading non-subjectively now, strive towards understanding what's the weakness of this strategy, why is it there, what's the advantage of this strategy, why is it there, and then start from there. Turn your focus to what's my expectation in the marketplace. In other words, is the edge present in the marketplace that matches up with my strategy, or is it not present? And I think you've heard a lot about this today of the traders who are starting to become more subjective, is they understand that, hey, this is a really good time to enter an M3.4U trade, or hey, this is a very bad time to enter, right? It depends on the situation and circumstances. And the more that you can get to that, the more adaptable you can be.
And that is what I have for you today. If you have any questions or comments or anything else you'd like to see in the next Trading Performance podcast, please list that in the comments and I'll personally answer your questions and comments for you. Also, I'd love to encourage you to come on over to lockeinyoursuccess.com. That's LOCKE in yoursuccess.com, and check out our Trading Performance and Pro memberships, where you can find the tools you need to become a much more effective trader, regardless of the type of trading you do. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on the next Trading Performance podcast.